Little stories with you from work and ministry 219 that I told you about last week. I have 2 minutes and 19 seconds to take people from the lower lot to the upper lot and drop them off, and then it's faster on the way back down. But becoming more and more convinced that 219, and I just love it, is the moments we have with people, that we can have effect on people, and being able to, I figure I have 219 to make people's start of the day better. It's kind of like being a school bus driver as you let kids in. As you let kids in, you know, you're the first person they see in a day. And it's the same thing with these employees. So I have 2 minutes and 19 seconds to make a great day. So a couple of quick stories. On the way back down, there's fewer of them at a time. And one of the people who's been riding a long time came up to the door, stood in the doorway, and she goes, "I've been having conversations with you in my head all day long." I'm like, I'm sorry. You should see a doctor about that. There's plenty of them right in there. And she got on and she goes, "I don't know, am I a heretic or an apostate?" I'm like, why limit yourself to either one? But she just opened this gigantic conversation that we had a little bit longer, 2 minutes, 19 seconds, about her spiritual life and where she's at. And I thought, well, that's just crazy and incredible. It's kind of amazing. And we had a lovely time. I drove her back down, and then I took up all the time that was left before I had to go back up. In fact, I had to invite her off the bus and say, we'll do this a little bit later to be able to do that. There was another time where somebody got on, it was just themselves, and she said, "You didn't finish telling me about why you got out of the ministry." Oh, sure. So we talked about it. She goes, "Well, I'm asking because I'm thinking about making a career change, and so I'm just kind of wondering where it is." Another one, Patty, who shares my bus in the evenings, she's one of those that expresses herself real well physically, and so for Valentine's Day she put this cool little pink tub out there and filled it with candy and got red garland and put it on, and it's really festive kind of thing. And somebody got on and was like, "Oh, that's really good. That's wonderful." I said, "Well, thank you. Yeah, I did that." No, but I said, that's just so Patty. Like, that's how she expresses that. It's how she brings joy and builds community, and that's just her. And just because I'm learning to be more open in the moment, I just said, it's awesome. I love that there's people like that because I can't do that. And I was thinking about it, and she goes, "Sure you do, stuff." And I said, well, I think what I attempt to do is to work with an open heart towards people and have open relationship. And this is a bad phrase, but exposing, my inner self to people, which is also when you get damaged, what hurts the most, and you pull back in. And as I've shared as openly as I can, the past 6 years has been rough for me. And that's the thing I've missed the most, is that I've closed off all people and being able to share and to love and to minister in that way, because I just don't have it, which is the toughest thing in all of life, I think, for all of us, when we come upon a situation and go, I just have nothing to give. And I had that place with God as well during this time, and saying, "God, I just have nothing to give." And he said, "You're resting in my grace right now. I'm not worried about what you have to give me. You're resting in my grace right now." So my encouragement this morning is the same thing that, as we've been talking about this idea of communion and the ritual that goes on there, that he took bread, he blessed it, he broke it, and he gave it, is this idea of that sometimes we're broken to be able to give, and being able to share from, my most painful areas with people, even in 2 minutes and 19 seconds, opens doors, opens moments, opens conversations. And I like the Road to Emmaus one that we've talked about, is it was when he broke bread that they went, "Oh my word, it's Jesus," in that moment. I'm not good about living in the moment. I'm always thinking about the future. I'm always thinking about other concerns. I'm always waking up going, I don't want to run today because I already hurt. And if I go out and run more, it's not so much that I'll hurt more, it's that I will have failed. And that's in my head. It's like, no, I'm failing. But there's something about showing up and being in the moment, that the success isn't necessarily running a faster time. I'm trying to learn, but it's in showing up with my friends. And I think that we reach that so much with Jesus. It's in that moment, of, oh, there you are, that we do that. But my encouragement then is to be living in that moment. Those conversations didn't just happen. It's that I've had several moments with those people that they get back on then and go, hey, what about this? And I'm like, we need to have coffee because we're unpacking a lot of stuff. There was one lady who, in the very short time, it was just her and I, who sat there and told me about her husband that just died 5 months ago. And she's trying to deal with that and come to grips with it, and how her going to work part-time is helping her cope with that. She got back on the bus this week and she just started opening up again, because quite frankly I forget faces because they're behind me here. And I'm like, is that the one, you know, kind of thing. And so she brought it up, and I was able to tell her, God brought you to mind this last week. I was thinking of your story, and so you've been prayed for. And she's like almost broke down. It's moments. It's in the now, and I'm trying to figure out the now. I don't do well with that, but that's what we have. It's simply the now. So when we think about the fact that he chose a day for us and us for this day, right? He spoke blessings over us each morning. They're new every morning. We're broken because we're broken people, and life sucks sometimes, and it's really difficult. And it's part of our job in those moments to meet people. We do that with an open heart. I'm still working through healing, and I know that you guys are too. But in that part of the healing is what I realized that I was healing when I suddenly could be in the moment with the person, in that very moment, and share openly and to listen and to care. And that was like in the middle of my day, I was like, crap, I'm getting better. This is fantastic. This is wonderful. I'm doing that again. So the ability to live in the moment, especially during kind of difficult times, because that's really all you have sometimes when you get that broken and down. It's like, I don't know how to think my way out of this, or to plan my way out of this, or whatever else. I just know that in this very moment I am present. That's it. I am present. And I need to stop being afraid of my memories, or afraid of anticipations of what's going to come up, and simply be present. So that's my encouragement to you this week. We only have moments, and life's made up of a lot of different moments. And we only have moments with people as well as ourselves. And sometimes when you don't have anything to do or to say or to give, presence is it, and the ability to say, I got nothing for you today, but here I am. But that's okay, because God's doing it anyway. And sometimes we are his presence here. So let's take a couple more minutes, receive what God has to give through that, and then go hurt ourselves.